are collapsing at the moment. So superannuation is everyone's retirement accounts here in Australia. It's something that's mandated by the government. It's something they said they would never touch. They are looking at putting an unrealized capital gain in, but let's just talk about what's happening right now. So I saw this from Andy from the Bitcoin Advisor. He put this out. We'll dive into his tweet just straight up. I'm like, fuck the slave system, fuck super, get a self-managed super fund and take control. In this video, we're going to make it real quick, but I will show you exactly what I do, how I opted out of the superannuation system, set up a self-managed super fund, where I went to be able to do it. Again, none of this video, it's not financial advice. I just want to bring your attention to this. So if we open up Andy's tweet here, devastating news for Aussie investors. The collapse of First Guardian and Shield schemes puts $1 billion in super at risk, with losses potentially topping $700 million. We're forced to give these people control of our hard-earned money that we cannot touch until retirement, and they stuff up. Thousands of retirees face wiped out savings, couples losing $1 million plus, families missing $300,000. Turns out risky illiquid assets and fraud. CSLR compensation kept at $150,000 a claim, subject to all sorts of conditions, payouts years away. That's absolutely insane. This is insanity. Self-custody Bitcoin stored correctly in a self-managed super fund is immune to these levels of fraud, incompetence, and government failures. The good thing about a Bitcoin self-managed super fund is you can hold that Bitcoin in self-custody, which is absolutely amazing. So let's jump over to Sky News, a little bit of right-wing media. This is like 7 days old, I think. Yeah, 7 days old, but almost 450 million fared loss for thousands of Aussie super holders as fund goes into liquidation. You can read that. All I did is I just typed in Australian collapsing super fund and it just populated a whole list. Absolutely insane. But manages superannuation of approximately 6,000 Australians went into liquidation early 2025 with ASIC launching an investigation into the company. You can read through it, but there is evidence that one director, Mr. Anderson, or entities or individuals associated with Mr. Anderson have also been parties to certain transactions and or the recipient of considerable monies from the company and or funds. These transactions require further investigation. The company had a Lamborghini Urus registered to it. Absolutely insane. We're giving these Muppets control of our retirement system. Fuck that. Opt out. Anyway, let's just quickly, before we get into what I do, we are at block height 906,041. Bitcoin, 120,550. Looks like it is pumping up a bit for the Aussies, and this applies mostly to you. 185,335. All-time highs like 190,000. People like, is it too expensive to buy Bitcoin? Please do your own research, not financial advice. If you think it's too expensive, this book, The Big Print by Lawrence Lepard, is the go-to. You'll be able to catch up real quick. But this is where I was just going through, where they've got pages and pages of Aussie super accounts. There's plenty of videos out there that you can look at. But what I do, and again, it's not financial advice. There's other companies out there that use it. I found these people very easy, esuperfund.com.au. The one condition with it where it wasn't easy is there's like 30 pages you need to read through, like tiny little lines and stuff. You need to sign everything. When you are taking control of your superannuation and you're rolling it over from your super into a self-managed super fund, obviously you need to go through all that process. It needs to go to the ATO. And it can take ages. It can take months. Some people will get it as quick as 1 month. Other people, it may take 6 or 9 months. If you forget to check one of those boxes or do anything right, just take your time reading through it. Talk to your financial advisor. Talk to your accountant. Talk to your bookkeeper. Find out what the best situation is for you. But for me, using eSuperFund, got it out. I got my Bitcoin geographically dispersed. And so there's nobody in control of it, no government institution, entity or whatever that can rehypothecate it. I am not subject to $1 billion or $450 million in losses. That Bitcoin is connected to my node. I don't need a trust. I can verify that it is all there. and just completely opted out. Now, in regards to super, because I hold it all in Bitcoin, I'm nowhere near the $3 million mark, but the government is looking later this month to bring in an unrealized capital gains tax on superannuation balances over $3 million. And they're saying this only applies to like 88,000 Australians at the moment. And then you get all the socialist people being like, tax the rich, fuck the rich, blah, blah, blah. They need to pay their fair share. It's not about this. It's not indexed to inflation. So in the next 30 years, $3 million will roughly be about $85,000 in purchasing power on the higher end. That's nothing to be able to retire. So in one generation, it applies to everyone. The second thing about that unrealized capital gains tax, and check out that video that I did with Jeff Wilson and Peter Dunworth, and we dove really far into it, is this tax could apply to the family home straight away. They bring it in through one way, and it's called the totalitarian footstep, and then they'll divert and they just start applying it. And we're seeing wealth taxes happening in Australia more and more and more, like the Victorian land tax, for example, or dictating if people can install gas into a new home build. And the reason I bring up the gas thing, it's just the totalitarian or the authoritarian nature of the Australian government at the moment. They're coming for everything. They're not allowing people to make their own decisions. They're not allowing the free market to decide. It's total control. Bitcoin is outside their control. Obviously, do everything legally, do it properly, but just be able to protect yourself and opt out of that system. Now, I'm at a point now where I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to take a wage from the company. I'll just wait and take it in dividends, because I do not want any money going into the superannuation system. Even if it stays under that 3 million, they've had talks about in the past of pulling money out because there's like $3-4 trillion sitting there where they want to use it on military spending. I'm not for that. Like, that's absolutely fucked up. So like, I opt out. Once you set this up or set up something similar, or you don't do it, you look into it like it's your money, it's your choice, it's just an option. This is what I did to be able to opt out of that slave system. You have to be able to protect it. Anyone that's watched the show for a long time knows that I've recommended the Bitcoin Way for a long time. Channel partner, channel sponsor. The Bitcoin Way, Tony Yazbek, if you haven't seen his video in Bitcoin Prague, just type in Tony Yazbek, Bitcoin Prague in YouTube. Fire. One of the greatest Bitcoin videos that I've ever watched. Tony is a good friend of mine for good reason. But he can help people get a second passport just to opt the fuck out of Australia. It's called a Plan B residency, and it's something that more and more people should be looking at because it's very cheap, it's very affordable, and you can stay in Australia and you don't need to exercise that right straight away. But to be able to have an option, say in 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, just to be able to get up and go, it's very freeing just to know that the government can fuck around for as long as they like, but eventually they're going to find out. And that's the issue when they come after the people that have provided value. They've saved that wealth, they've done the right thing. They're like, fuck off, I'm out of here. I'm going to go to places like Dubai or Cyprus or Panama or wherever it is, but I'm not going to stay in Australia. They pack up their businesses, very similar to what Adam Hudson from Unemployable Media has just done. He's got up, he's gone to Cyprus, he's closing down all his businesses here in Australia. A lot of those businesses would have had Australian employees who would have been paying tax. They're not getting a wage, so now they need to draw, maybe not particularly in that situation, but just an example, if an Australian company goes down, there's more pressure on benefits or the dole, and there's less tax receipts coming in as well. And then the wealthy individual has gotten up and left. So when they're saying tax the rich, it's not the right way to go about it. But as well as that, like most importantly, if you've got your Bitcoin on the exchange, like call them. The first 30 minutes is free. I truly couldn't recommend them enough. My parents, even my wife, with it, for so long, like within Bitcoin, it's don't trust, verify. And like I'm really the Bitcoiner in the family. Clearly, hundreds of videos, hundreds of podcasts, dedicated my life, every sort of moment to the Bitcoin community and just understanding Bitcoin. So I get it. And I took control of all our funds. And then you get the question, how do I access the Bitcoin? oh, now you're ready to do some research, go talk to the best. And that's what I did with my wife. And she learnt from the best person so that I didn't give her any misleading information. She knew she was doing the right thing. And now she can take control and move it and do everything, can be able to reinstate that seed phrase, delete it, put it back on, move funds from the wallet to an exchange back to another wallet as well. So they're like your IT cybersecurity experts. They'll just hold your hands. But if your Bitcoin's on the exchange and you don't know how, just get it off, please, because it's fucking insane. Like, it is absolutely insane. I can see Bitcoin beats there. My self-managed super fund is in Bitcoin. Me too. Johnny Midas in the chat. Don Franco. Holy shit. Batman. Let's effing go. In Australia, like, there's so many things happening all at once. And, you know, even Albo choosing to go to China instead of meeting with Trump. Like, what message is that sending? Like, fucking politicians just in general, they're all... It's just a parasitic class. But, you know, for a country that believes in free speech, or a communist country, and chooses one of the over the other, like, what path are we heading down as, like, Australians? Like, where are we going? The lockdowns in Melbourne, the worst in the world. It's been a hard couple of years, and I think what's about to happen is going to be even harder. Like, unemployment raised in this country, it looks like they're going to drop the interest rate at the next RBA meeting. And everyone wants that to happen because everyone's feeling the cost of inflation, the cost of living crisis in this country. Once they drop interest rates, house price is just going to go bang up even more. Immigration's not slowing down. I'm all for immigration, but it needs to be done sensibly, and it hasn't for the last couple of years. So everything's like, there's going to be more and more people chasing those houses. Money's going to be cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's going to get very hard, in my opinion, very quickly. And like the last 4 years haven't been hard enough. They've probably been the hardest of most adults' lives ever. You know, we've doubled our income and it feels like we're standing still. That's crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. And, you know, this book that I recommend, The Big Print, Lawrence Lepard talks about it. Now, something that I didn't know about Lawrence Lepard, and you may not know either, it was back in the 1980s, I believe. He sold his business, his company in the States, for $250 million US. That's like, what, purchasing power of like $1 billion these days? So that's one thing. The second thing with Lawrence Lepard is he has a gold and Bitcoin hedge fund, and he wrote the best book on money that I've ever read, and I've read thousands of books in my lifetime. Truly, I couldn't recommend it enough. If you don't believe me, and you shouldn't, don't trust, verify. Like, put in your own proof of work. But to do nothing with what's happening here in Australia or around the world with fiat currency, like in Australia, in the last 5 and a bit years, they've added 57% to the M3 money supply. So it took us 100 years to get this much money. In the last 5 years, they added nearly 60% back on to the money. Like, in 5 years. What happens with the next big print? And Lawrence Lepard saying roughly by 2030, maybe it comes a couple of years earlier, a couple of years later, something's going to break, and it's going to break really bad, and nobody is coming to save you. Unfortunately, like, for so long in my life, I was just like, hoping the government would give free money or whatever, or just win the lotto or something like that. And then I had a wake up call about 8 years ago. I'm like, fuck, nobody's coming. Like, 100% responsibility. I need to take control. And at that stage is like, what can we do? Earn an income, pay down the mortgage. Once we don't have the mortgage repayments, then it's very little income that you need to be able to live. Obviously, you need to pay your property taxes, which is like an ongoing gift to the state. And then over a couple of years, and still not really feeling like we're getting anywhere, dove back into Bitcoin again. It was 300 times more expensive than when I first heard about it. But I'm like, fuck, this thing keeps going up. It's like a cockroach that just never dies. What is this thing? Found it and realized that it is the best form of money ever invented, ever existed in human history. It's just over it's at like $2.39 trillion market cap today, US. I can bring it up. I'll show you. As always, don't trust, verify. We just got a new block, 906,042, market cap 2.4 trillion. So it's gone up $1 billion. Yeah, since I started, because it was at 2.39. That seems very expensive. And like we've got this unit bias, $120,502. Gold's at over $20 trillion. Bitcoin's coming for gold. I think gold's at like $21, $24 trillion. Bitcoin is coming for that. Maybe it takes 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever. There's still another 10x on the upside. But the way that I see Bitcoin now is one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. That's great. Like the fiat price, whatever, we're close to an all-time high, 123,000 all-time high. Like it doesn't matter. It's just how many Bitcoin or bits of a Bitcoin that you can get. Like every one Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. How many 100 millions of Satoshis can you get? Maybe it's only 50 million, half a Bitcoin. Cool. Like that's going to put you in a better position than 99.99% of the population. And it's my strong belief in our lifetime, Bitcoin will be that reserve asset when fiat collapses, because it is collapsing, and all fiat goes to intrinsic value. Fiat's like the fucking dollar bills we use. I'm going to pull the bookmark out. This shit, that's fucking fiat. Fuck it. Get rid of the crap. It's toilet paper. It's garbage, but it's intrinsic value. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. We need to get that out of our lives as much as possible. We've got a better option. If you're not into Bitcoin, take a strong look at gold. Study it, but study both of them and understand that this is something. It's money that's outside the system that they can't control once you do it properly. Or you can leave your money in super. You can leave your Bitcoin on the exchange. You can buy the Bitcoin ETF and have no control. And then you get to the fuck around and find out stage. And then this happens. The CEO or people connected to the company go out and buy a fucking Lamborghini Urus. It's up to you. But again, and fortunately it sucks. Nobody's coming to save us. But like we have a lifeboat. We can just opt out. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, just do something. Just read a book, look into it, find some information, whatever it is, but to continue to keep doing what you're doing. If you're taking no action, you're just leaving your money in super. I hope you get lucky and it all works out for you. I truly do. I don't think that's going to be the case though. And, you know, some people are going to comment, oh, fear mongering, bro. I've showed you the data. We can see what's coming down the pipeline. Fuck staying in that system for any longer than you have to. That's my thoughts. But again, 100% self-responsibility. Big boy and big girl pants, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy it. Anyway, please do something nice for yourself today and for somebody else out there. We will see you on the next video. Be blessed. Peace. We'll get out of here.
Everything seemed normal. Successful businesses were functioning as they usually should. Money was being placed in the bank as savings. Life was good. Nobody notices anything funny. But 2008 hits and all hell breaks loose. Everything we thought about money and the banking was a complete lie, a complete sham, a Ponzi, a scam. The whole world fell apart and a lot of people got hurt financially. And as a result of this, the Bitcoin white paper was born. But yet the same mistakes keep happening over and over again. People are leaving money on their institutions up until the last straw, FTX, when billions of dollars were lost, families were decimated, life savings were completely wiped, and people were wondering what on earth just happened. We have an option to take full custody of our funds, and that's Bitcoin. We just have to learn the process. It's not hard. It's just something we've never had to do before. Otherwise, The same mistakes are going to keep repeating themselves, and people are going to continue to get hurt over and over and over until they learn you need to exit the system in order to protect yourselves and your loved ones.